Hi and welcome to How to Use CAD. For today's tutorial we're going to create a detailed section for building a brick-faced full-fill cavity wall for a residential property. By the end of the lesson you should have a far better understanding on how we build exterior walls for new build houses and extensions. So as you can see, I did a little preparation for us today. What we're looking at here is a detailed section for a double block full fill cavity wall. If we look at the wall here now, you can see it's made up of 100mm 220 blocks stacked on top, and then we have insulation in the center and then blocks again on the outside. So what normally happens is this then gets rendered, sand and cement rendered, painted up on one side, and then on the inside gets dabbed out with 12mm plasterboard. So what you've got then is rendering, block, insulation, block, and plasterboard. The few bits and pieces in between, you've got stainless steel retaining wall ties. I'm going to show you something. I've just pulled up earlier, so you understand what we're looking at. These are stainless steel ties that are used to put walls together. If you see it on that particular photograph, the ties rest on both parts of the wall, one on the inside and one on the outside. So when the next block is put on and the cement is added, what it does is it ties the walls together so they don't bulge and fall apart as time goes by. So they're put in at 750. Every 750 they're put in. Effectively every 3 blocks we put those in. So what else can I tell you? Right, let's have a look at the bottom. On the bottom here you've got, this is from the foundations up, so that's your foundation, which is your DPC. This wall is from your DPC up. So the black section here represents your DPC, which is effectively DPC means damp proof membrane, and it's usually about a gauge of about 1000 or 1200, and that's what they put in to stop the damp from coming up into the new wall. So we start off with your foundations, etc., and then they build up. But from the DPC, you got your blocks, and that carries on up until roof level. All you have to do is add these stainless steel ties to keep the walls together. So you've got it: block, insulation, block, rendering on the outside, plasterboard on the inside. So that's a full detailed section for a double block full fill cavity wall. That's not what we're doing today. That's there to demonstrate, and we're going to utilize the detail, because all we're going to do is change part of it to turn it into something else. What we're actually going to do today is build or create a detailed section for a brick face. So in other words, we get rid of these blocks and put bricks on the outside. So we have all the elements. I've prepared them over here, and you're going to watch as we do them. So let's get on with it. So basically this is just a copy of that one here, and I'm going to, as I say, I'm going to utilize it as best as possible to make the changes. So incidentally, this is information if you're a designer and you're working within the architectural side and within the building construction, these are elements you need to learn, so you can do that research online. But it's basically the size of an actual brick, which is represented here. So the size of a brick being 215mm long, 102 wide, and 65mm high. That's generally how the bricks are, and you need to know those sizes. You also need to know that the concrete or the cement that goes in between the bricks is, we make an allowance of 10mm. So it's, in this case, it's 65 for the brick, 10mm for the sand and cement, then a brick again, and so on. But this is information you should have ready handy. In effect, a little spreadsheet with sizes, and as you work your way through the detail sections and the building and construction details like door sizes, block sizes, brick sizes, you should be making a note. That way it'll be ready when you're actually doing some drawings for an extension or new build. You'll have some of the information to hand. So it's a good practice to, if you have to research to find out the size of something, then add it into your spreadsheet. Okay, so let's see what we're going to do here. We're going to stick everything in this particular box. So what I'm going to do is, well, let's start by getting this text here. If I double click, brick face, full fill, cavity wall. Well, that's okay. In fact, I could utilize this. I don't need to change anything. So the aim here is what we're doing is we have access to loads of sections, and we get sections from all over the internet, and we create sections, and we have hundreds of sections or detailed sections. But what we want to do is we want to unify them or make them, give them a format, and unify the colors uniform. So within a year or so, these things will be all over the internet, and they'll be linking back to our website, which is detailsections.co.uk. And it should also tell you that we shall be, this is a new website, and we're going to be adding maybe 1,000 or 2,000 detailed sections over the next year to that website. And if you're a designer and you need detailed sections, then that's the place to go to hunt through and buy what you need. Okay, so right, so generally speaking, there's an editorial to go with any kind of detailed section, such as the editorial on this one. Well, I need to get that editorial, and I've been remiss because I didn't get it just yet. But let me move on, and I'll come back to that. So what I want to do now is I want to change. We're going to change the block first. So in order to do that, let me start getting rid of some of the elements that we want here. These are good. Yeah, there we go. It's a good experience for anybody interested in learning about the building and construction detailed sections, because eventually you're going to have to make some. We do, my company, Draw Plans. We're architectural designers in London, and we do all sorts of new builds, extensions, and so on and so forth. But what we get asked for all the time is building plans. Obviously we do design plans, but we get asked for building plans for other architects or for clients who have had architects build or create the design plans. But for reasons beneath me, below, I just don't know. I can't work it out. But for reasons beyond me, they then need plans for building regs, and that's generally speaking, I believe it's because the designer that they've picked, it probably went reasonably cheap to save a few quid, and the designer they picked then doesn't have the skills or the know-how to create the build plans. So these are really essential skills. Right, so now here we are. I'm adding the brick. There we go. We don't need to render on the outside, so that's gone, as is that. So yeah, okay, so we need another brick or two here. Well, that's fine, we can deal with that. 2 more bricks, say. So basically, when you're doing detailed sections, you don't have to. This is 10 mil, tab 10. So So you don't have to build from scratch. Generally you might have done a detail section similar, you're only changing part of it, which means it doesn't take that long. But you know, if you're starting from scratch and you haven't got a clue how to build it, then obviously it's going to take a bit of time, but don't need that. That's lovely. So so now, as you can see, we've got a brick face, full fill cavity wall, and that's your insulation, that's your block inside, that's your plasterboard. So all I got to do now is redo. All I have to do is redo the editorial, and we don't need this one because that's to do with rendering. Walls to be built with cement render. Well, that's reasonable. That's a reasonable assumption, isn't it? Okay, so now my little dot needs to come to the front. Draw order, bring to front, and let's see if I can. I do two of them there. Getting old and shaky, that's what it is. Right. Take off, sometimes take off snaps, it's much easier for manipulating these few bits and pieces. And I try to give as much detail as I can and do it decently. See, now this one is disappearing, this too needs to, the draw order needs to change, needs to come to front so that it looks right. Now that looks right. So 0, 1, so what else? Stainless steel ties, they're in the right place. This will probably need to be repositioned as well. Oh no, for reasons I guess I don't know. Okay, so yeah, if you're having difficulty, just slow it all down, replay the video and go back to it. Damp proof, 150 above ground level. They're making a reference to this one. I don't need to put a ball and line on it because it's already done on here. That's correct, that's correct. Cavity, that's correct. Cavity wall skin, light block. So all that is correct, but it is numbered differently. So if we just have a little check on this, these are multi-line text, yeah, that's what I figured. So multi-line text, you should know, but you have to click on the multi-line tool to be able to edit it. And so we're looking at 3, clicking off, that's 3, and then this will be 4. I wish I had an introduction like this to detailed sections when I was younger, because that would have been a really great way of, a really fast way of learning. A really fast way of learning how to do the detailed sections. As it was, I spent years and years learning, but learning the hard way, as they say. Six, and then this one probably isn't multi-text, multi-line down here. Let's see if I'm right. Yep, that's 07. Okay, right, let me pause for a moment and grab the editorial. Okay, I've now got the information I need, so all I need to do is copy and paste, and I should be able to do that within here. There you go. We're nearly there. Right, so all the little decorative bits are in. The editorial is correct. The actual sketch is correct. Let me see. Yeah, that's it. So I can remove all this one, and we've got a brand new we've got a brand new detail section. Okay, hopefully you've learned a little bit on this one. Now I'll be doing loads and loads of detail sections over the next few months, and a lot of them will go on YouTube, which by doing it on YouTube it gives you guys the opportunity to see how to build, learn, and be able to make your own. And it's a really fabulous thing if you can learn how to make the detail sections, and even more important, come to understand the component parts for various structures. So probably the next ones we'll be doing will be again focused on probably the most popular ones for extensions, and so we'll be doing foundations, for example, be doing flat roofs, and those are the detail sections that will follow up after this one. So make sure you subscribe and you'll get notified each time we post a video, because they're really important for you guys if you're trying to get a career out of architectural services, and learning how to prepare building and construction drawings, which are an important part of every job that you do. Okay, thanks very much for watching. See you in the next video.